Hey, welcome back to the Backyard Professor Chess videos. I'm sorry about making the camera angle so crooked. I didn't realize my tripod was crooked. It makes you feel like you're tilting. Let's do some more really cool chess club videos of games that's been played in the club over the last 6 or 7 months. I have some more great stuff to show you, man. I'm really excited to show you these games. These guys are awesome, man. You're all awesome. That's the way it is. All right, hang on. We'll get there. Okay, this is by my good friend Gede, and he is playing the white. And this is a spectacular game. He said his opponent was a gentleman who even exclaimed "cool" when he got checkmated, the way he got checkmated. Gede opens up with the Steinitz counter gambit with the queen's pawn. And immediately his opponent opens with his queen. There can be advantages to that, but there can be disadvantages. They swap the pawns, and now here we go. So he's going to do an early attack. Hopefully it's not going to be just a one-man attack, though, because notice how he moves right to the center. The center is dominated by Gede. Now he's got another piece in. So this could get tricky. What's he going to do? He goes check. What a beautiful fork, right? He's got fight of his own. And then he proceeds to take. And now it's his opponent's turn. Check. He moves his king out. Check again. And he puts his queen in. So this is a really interesting tight game already. Neither one of them's going to castle. His king side is completely obliterated. And now he brings the knight back into this. So what do you do at this point? Check. Very cool. So he's got two pieces in on this, just like his opponent does against him. You can't do it with just one piece. You have to coordinate. Pull your piece back. Let's see what happens. Check. Ooh, what a beautiful, beautiful fork, yeah? But instead of taking the piece, his opponent came back and checked him down here. He sees something, apparently. So he just puts the queen in between, but he doesn't want to swap queen, so he's completely obliterated that side of the board, and he's again threatening that bishop. The queen comes up. The bishop is going to be takeable, which he does. But now look. Check. And mate. What a fascinating checkmate, isn't it? So he didn't let his opponent just come down here and rattle him. He came down here and rattled his opponent as well. They were both taking the initiative back and forth away from each other. So there's my friend Gede. Let me find another one for you to show you. Here's another little nifty game by my friend Boris. He said his opponent, he's playing black on this one, so he's at the top of the screen. He said his opponent was going in for a quick checkmate on him, and he really put the interesting, you gotta watch this, because when they pull that bishop onto this fourth row here, pointing toward the king, there's the weak square. He's going to attack that square, and you know it. Boris goes ahead and takes the pawn in the center. He does a beautiful fork on the rook and the queen. Boris brings his queen out. He takes the rook, and Boris goes checkmate. Nicely done, Boris. Turning the table. That's the fun stuff about online chess, but this was a quick speed game, so Boris had to be on his toes quick. So there's another fun one for the archive. Woohoo! Let's find another one. Okay, here's another game, a really good game of the London. Is that gonna goof you up? Yes, hold on. Let me see if I can get this straightened out just a little more. This is really a good game. Oh, I hate it when the camera doesn't pay attention to my desires. Okay, this is by Roadster. This is a London system. The nice thing is he's written it as a game study, so there's notes. So I hope this is a good enough screen that you can see his notes and you can do a study of the game. In the meantime, I'm going to play through this game because it's a London system, and he really plays this interesting for the London. Of course, the bishop out tells you it's a London system when your opponent does do that. When they go to exchange this bishop, this is one of the exchanges in the London system. Rather than you taking his bishop, move down and allows you to open up this file. Usually in the London, your opponent will castle kingside like he did. So we've got it castled kingside, and you've got an open file right there on the H file, and now you're hitting this pawn with the bishop. And immediately go check, drive the king out. Now, you don't want to leave your pawn or your bishop back there for too long. He is going to challenge. This is what I thought was interesting. His opponent challenges the open file, and I've said that in several videos. Never just give your opponent an open file. You just cannot do that and play a good game. So he's challenging the file, rightly so. Bump your king up and guard your rook with your queen. That's interesting. He's continually developing, and now take it, and now exchange the queens, and that keeps you with the open file. That is an interesting move in the London. Now, and then he's going to exchange one more. Kind of puts him in the middle, but he's got a controlled center, so it's not a crisis really. He's doing really well with the controlled center. Check. The king will come up. Then he goes back, check. The king will come at him. Put the knight there. The knights guard each other. Now you can see black is kind of in trouble here because both of his knights are way on the other side of the board where they can't help out in defense at all. So this is a tough call for his opponent. Very well played by Roadster. Here come his knights. He makes sure, one, that secures his center, keeps the black pawns there, but two, it secures his knights. It gives him an outpost that he can use back and forth, which is extremely valuable. He did guard the pawn here, so he can't come at him from that way, so he's going to have to crack through this another way. Come back. Now here comes the knight for defense, and now here comes the other knight. His opponent does change out the knight. I think that just helped Roadster though, because now it gives him an in to this. See how that comes? Now he's got the king out in the open. The king is not going to be able to move out, and sure enough, checkmate. That's beautiful, isn't it? That is a really, really well done game. Way to go, Roadster. That's a good London system game right there. I like that. Okay, let's find another one. I've got a lot more. Okay, I have to admit, this one made me really smile big. This was very nice. This was from our former team captain, Juni. He said, I was playing a correspondence game when at the 11th move I saw my opponent had not yet castled. Then I remembered the lessons of the BYP of Jeremy Silman, who said, if the king is still on his original file, you have to try to break the pawn chain open. So I did. I admit it was a little greedy with queen to b3. After I made the move, I saw a better move was knight to g5 was also an option. The computer says this as well. It's a good idea to study the old Silman Backyard Professor Chess videos from time to time. It handed me a nice little victory. I have never seen this before, so let's take a look at this. This is cool. This is kudos to Jeremy Silman. Let's see how Juni did this. Juni's playing the white. He does a queen pawn opening. Actually, it's the queen gambit. It's been accepted too, yeah. The queen gambit accepted is a fun one to play as white. When I was playing it hard there for a while, yeah, and that's typical. Oh, and now he came back. There are variations where he'll take that bishop, but he kept his bishop. So Juni continues to develop. He drops his bishop back. He wants to center push the pawns. He castles. He's safe as far as the exchanges. His opponent is making a lot of moves. Now it's here that Juni said I noticed he hadn't castled yet. So I need to go after him. So let's break open the pawn chain. And he starts by opening the pawn chain. Let's see if Silman, and by extension me, I barely know what I'm talking about, but Silman does know what he's talking about. Let's see what happens. So he blew the board open. Notice that. His opponent hasn't castled yet, and he blew the board open. Now, of course, he's going to move the rook because he wants to use that knight if he can. If the bishop doesn't exchange, even if the bishop does exchange that knight, he didn't, and so now he's got a beautiful discovered check. Yeah, nice. Discovered check. Now he can't castle, but look at that position. The bishop, knight, knight, bishop here, rook on the open file, queen ready to jump up into this or this direction. Juni's got this. There you go, yeah, queen jumping up there. So the king goes back, and oh, look at that fork. See, Silman, those lessons really are interesting. I'm really, really happy to see this game go this way. Oh, and then he didn't take the queen. He gave him a discovered check with the rook on the open file. What that does... Oh, that's fabulous. Oh, that was awesome. Now he takes the rook. Now here comes his other knight. See, his queen's got this diagonal. That's what forced the queen. The queen can't afford to take it because if Juni moved right there, it was checkmate. Oh, this is well played. But he lost it anyway there. So he loses the rook, but he gains the win. Oh, it was there that, yeah, it was there that Black resigned at that point because the Black took the rook and then resigned because the queen goes here and goes checkmate. So that's kind of fun to see that my videos are actually helping people, that they're remembering some of the things I'm saying, and it really does help. So that's fun. That's cool. That makes me feel good all over. All right, hey, let me find another one of these little babies for you. Wow, here's another game by my friend Vampire Toza. And he says, this particular lesson, my opponent was 200 points higher rated, and because of the BYP's lessons on Silman's imbalances and from the Artur Yusupov chess course that I've been videoing for you, Vampire Toza said he won this game because of the videos that I've been making. So let's see what this does. I've never seen this one yet either. Let's see what happens. Vampire is playing the black. So he's going to do the French defense with the knight variation. And let's see. Okay, I've seen that. Yeah, that's typical. Okay, so he's got the double pawns, but he's in such a position that it's not going to kill him, I don't think. And he is bringing out his pieces nicely. Yeah, he's got now the center. It's a good, too bad he can't back it up, but that was a good pawn fork. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, it still doesn't help him much. Boy, there's a nice knight fork by his opponent. Oh, queen goes check. Beautiful move. Look at that. He oh, Vampire, he's awesome. A beautiful knight fork. And so Vampire Toza goes check with the with the fork on his knight that forked his queen and bishop. Yeah, that's fabulous. Of course, move it back, yes. So now we've got the lesson, perhaps. That piece is pinned, although it is protected with the pawn. Let's see what Vampire does. Again, pulling a piece out. Yeah, Vampire does that good too. He's always developed good when I've played him also. He's tough that way, and that's good. That's what you're supposed to be. So I hope I've got enough. Yeah, I left enough space so that you can. Vampire likes to put these into game studies, and that's always cool to do because then you can see the different variations that he found and that he caught. Really kind of cool to watch. So pull your queen back, yeah. Go ahead and castle, yeah, castle. That makes sense. Okay, now here we go with a knight fork or a bishop fork and a potential ripping open the king side here. Yes, yes. He's done that to me before, so that makes sense to me, yeah. Now notice he's ripped the king side open now, and now he's still, although, I don't know if he should have done that. Oh, that's interesting. He could have taken that knight with the rook. Yeah, that wasn't the best move for Vampire to make. Yeah, now it's okay, but yeah, well, all right, that's okay too. He's doing good. He's keeping his center strong. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Okay, he's going to activate both of his rooks. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have made that king move or not. I don't think that helped. Yeah, get the pawns in, use them as the battering rams, and yeah, go for it. Check. Yeah, that last king move there was a mistake, and Vampire capitalizes on it. That is so him. He's good at that. Notice how he pushes the double pawns. That's important. In Nimzovich's book, when you have doubled pawns, you want to be able to make them mobile, and they can be really strong. As a general rule, they could be weak, but look at the squares that the pawns are covering. So those are not weak pawns, and they are advancing. Vampire's in pretty good shape here. Yeah, he's in pretty good shape here. He's a piece up. Let's see what he does. Put all the pieces together, and his opponent's going to try to... Boy, why did... Okay. Okay, he's coming down so that he can put an attack together. Oh, I see what he's trying to do. Oh, he's going for the mate, man. Very nice. I can't believe his opponent didn't see that. Very nice. So that's my good friend Vampire Toza, who says also watching the videos has helped him play better chess. He did pretty good in that one too. All right, cool. Let me find another one. I've got more. I'm not kidding. This is great. Okay, this one is by my friend Wildfire. And he said, it's one of those games where I made a blunder and I just did not deserve to win, and yet I turned it around and won anyway. So, I mean, we all have games like this. So let's see what Wildfire went through and see how he experienced this win. And, oh, and he's playing the black, I do believe. I believe he is the black. There's the first problem right there. He took it with his queen, and now he's got to move his queen around. And he's going to get behind in the development. Yeah, he brought his pawn up to keep the knight out, but the knight is still on the rampage, and he's put himself in a better square. And now Wildfire has to move his queen yet again. And blam. Yeah, here we go. So he's made it so Wildfire can't castle. And now he's got a vicious... wow. Hit on his queen and rook. But he did go check. He's got the knight. He lost his rook. But look at this. He's bringing out more pieces now. A little bit better. Yeah, here comes that cotton-picking queen, and he's going to lose his other rook. Wow. Okay, so he goes check again. So notice he is attempting to keep his opponent occupied. Wow, what a tough situation. Who hasn't been in this situation? I have, definitely. Okay. He's not doing as bad as he thought he was. Notice he didn't leave his knight out here and push another pawn to try to get the bishop out. Get the knight off the rim and get it in the center. Yeah, he's hitting the queen also. So this is good. He's keeping his pieces active. Okay, he's pursuing the queen like crazy again. Oh, that's an interesting defense. Yeah, now check, and he's going to lose his knight. Wow, what a game, huh? It's a good lesson. We've all had these kind of situations. They're not easy. Come back up here to that check because his opponent refuses to castle. That gave him his out, I think. He saved his bacon a few times with that. Yeah, he can't afford to exchange just right off. It's a very interesting game. This is the first time I've seen it. Now, okay, so now he can't castle either. Oh, a good move. Open up for your bishop and at the same time hit his bishop. You can come down here and take the pawn. Yeah. Bring the knight out. Yeah, keep things developing. Get all your pieces working together. Here come those blasted rooks. Wildfire really doesn't have a chance here. If his opponent... Yeah, see, his opponent did not play that right. Good for Wildfire for keeping the heads up. He said at this point he was pretty discouraged, but he kept looking. He kept trying to look and make sure he was doing things okay. Look at that beautiful checkmate. So the lesson here is never give up. Even though you make some blunders, you make a bad move or two, and you lose both your rooks. His opponent had both his rooks. He had lost both his rooks. Who wouldn't be discouraged from that? But Wildfire kept at it. He said, I kept looking at every instance that I could to make sure if I had a move, and sure enough, it worked out. So never give up if you can at all help it. That's a great little lesson for all of us because every one of us have been through that. He is not alone on that. Good job, Wildfire. Very educational game. Thank you for sharing that. That's the one thing I love about this club is we share our bad games as well as good games, and then we critique them and we praise them. I love that. That's awesome. So there's a few more games from the Backyard Professor Chess Club for you. Like I say, we've got hundreds of them archived, and more are coming out all the time. And I've talked to the guys on the club, in the club, and they've said they will keep putting on some of their new games so that I can keep sponsoring them. But it's been a good weekend for showing how many I've showed, maybe a couple of dozen of these games, and they're educational, they're fun, they're interesting, blunders and all, wins and all, checkmates, great tactics, good strategies. Hey, that's what chess is all about, man. So thank you for watching my Backyard Professor Chess videos. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. People keep telling me, hey, you got to invite people to subscribe or they won't subscribe to your channel. So go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I promise I won't bite. I will make you laugh, sometimes in embarrassment, other times with real humor, and other times you can laugh at me because I play such lousy chess, and I will show that. That's almost inevitable too, but we are all improving. That's the point. So it's been quite a while since I played a lot of chess, so I've gotten back rusty again. So I'm trying to get back up in it, and I'm doing so through my fabulous chess club patrons. Those guys are just rockin' awesome. Thanks for everything you do for me. I love you guys. You're awesome, man. Guys and gals. I'm just trying not to forget you gals either. So, okay, hey, you guys have a good night, and I will see you in the next Backyard Professor Chess video shortly.